What happens when a rock star turns into a historian and an author? You get Bob Crawford from the Avett Brothers. Courtney sat down with him to talk about his career progression.
He's a Grammy-nominated rock star and beloved podcaster, and now Bob Crawford from the Avett Brothers is an author. You get to add that to your list. Bob, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's talk about your new book, America's Founding Son, John Quincy Adams, From President to Political Maverick. It was just released. How did this come about?
Well, a few years ago, I did a podcast series about John Quincy Adams, and we had actors do the voices of the characters. Patrick Warburton was John Quincy Adams. Nick Offerman was Andrew Jackson. It did very well, and I was approached by a book agent. He's like, I think you got a book here. And I thought it was a great opportunity to get deeper into the John Quincy Adams story. And there was a specific story I wanted to tell. That's how it came about.
You know what? Podcasting and a podcast is such a fun way to learn history, because I think sometimes people feel like they need the visual, but a podcast that's well done with the actors and, you know, you still deal with like natural sound effects and things like that. It is such a fun and interesting way to take it in. So I can see why they were like, you've got something here.
Yeah, it's important to, if you want to teach people history, to meet them where they are.
Yes.
And nowadays, people are in their cars, they're walking their dogs, they're jogging, they're listening, they're doing housework, they're listening to podcasts. So my goal is to teach people history in a way that is not cumbersome for them.
Yeah, that's something I would do. I would definitely turn it on in the car. We love this. Can you tell us what readers can expect from the book?
So this is not a cradle-to-grave, 700-page history book, dense history book. This is I actually pitched it to publishers as a beach read.
Okay.
This is a 300-page book about John Quincy Adams from the year 1820 to his death in 1848 that you could read easily in a week on vacation or just a week at home lounging around. And it tells the story of his struggle against slavery. He was a failed one-term president, but he is the only former president to go into Congress after his presidency. And it's there that he takes on the pro-slavery forces in the Congress.
See, you've already got people right now, because I guarantee there will be someone who watches this that says, I didn't know that.
That's right, and that is what fascinated me when I first learned about John Quincy Adams. He has this amazing life. I like to think of it in 3 acts. He grew up, he was an eyewitness to the Battle of Bunker Hill. He went to Paris with his father when his father went to negotiate France into the war and then to negotiate the end of the war. He became a diplomat. He was appointed to his first diplomatic post by Washington. He rises through the diplomatic ranks to become Secretary of State under James Monroe. He's the architect of the Monroe Doctrine, which we're all talking about again. Then he has this terrible presidency. It was a terrible, failed one-term presidency. But instead of going home to Quincy and going home to Quincy and working on his father, he wanted to write about his father and work on his father's papers. He was approached to run for Congress, to stand for Congress. You didn't run at the time, you stood. And where some people would say going from president to congressman is a step down, a demotion, if you will, his wife and son thought it was, but not him. He said, if my fellow citizens want me to serve them in town council, I'll do it. It is my duty to serve. And he remained in Congress for 18 years. And that's where I think he defined himself as a political maverick.
And this is also fascinating because, you know, typically when we're learning through, you know, K through 8, high school, even college, you only get like a snapshot. So to be able to capture all of this and to dig deeper in a way that is digestible for people is exciting.
It's very important, yes.
Now, tell me what draws you to our country's history.
I've always been fascinated with it. Since I was a very young boy, I loved historic sites. My mother would take me to I grew up in South Jersey, and there were a few around where I grew up. I had a grade school teacher who, looking back on it, she probably made her own clothes. Like she was probably like a reenactor, and she taught us South Jersey history. And you know, I wasn't the best student in grade school and high school. but I always just did well at history. And I was always fascinated with politics. And like when the debates would come on, or the national conventions would come on, or, you know, I would just always paid attention to it.
And it's always that one teacher, too. It's always that one teacher, no matter what. You look forward to that class, and it has an impact on you throughout your life.
It really does, yeah.
Okay. Talk to us about what's next for the Avett Brothers.
Actually, we will be here in Boston at the Wang Theater on June 10th. Tickets are on sale now. Please come out and see us. We'll be on tour. So when I finish this book tour, I actually finish out near Los Angeles, and we have a gig. So I'll do my book tour. I'm on the East Coast this week. I'll fly to San Francisco, do events in San Francisco, Seattle, make my way down to Los Angeles. We have a band gig, a one-off there. Then we all come home, have one day off, and we have a week of rehearsals.
Oh, look at that.
So tour starts in April. We'll be here in June, and I hope to see everybody out on the road.
And they'll have a book to enjoy in the meantime.
That's right.
I see what you did there.
Got to tie it all together.
That's right.